Snowy.
Yo.
So, room part 5, bro. Room part 5. We finally dropped it after how many years now? 8 years.
Yeah.
Actually, I lied. It's been like 4 years because part 4 came out like 2016. But, oh yeah, shit, dog. It's crazy. It's been quite a journey. So let's talk room, bro. Let's talk room.
Okay, where do we start with room?
Let's start on part 5, bro. Let me ask you, where was your head at for part 5, though?
Definitely inside a room.
Definitely inside.
Full of bitches.
Yeah. Nah, I feel we were both in the same wavelength to that one, you know.
Yeah, 2020 for you.
And I feel like the way that we ended it was perfect, you know what I mean? I know, I realized, you know, after listening to the song quite a few times, we had it end in a very somber note, you know, that violin playing and shit in the back.
Yeah.
But it's not actually somber. I guess the reason why it's somber is because it's something that I consider a masterpiece to come to an end, you know? So that shit was like, you know.
Yeah, it's a series. A lot of feelings were
There was a lot of feelings that came with
every song that we made.
That's true.
All five of them.
And I feel like, you know, part 5 there was a lot of references back to the old ones. You know, like we had, like me, my side, I had a lot of references back to part 3. Some reference to part 4. There was a reference to part 1 also, where I say, "What's this really proving?"
Yeah.
You know, tell me, what's this really proving?
Yeah.
Tell me what you doing. I say. You know what I mean. So there was a lot of references from my side, but let's go back. Let's go to part 1. You know, because a lot of people have asked like, what's the premise of Room? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you started all that. I just sort of caught on to the idea.
Yeah. And like for me, Room part 1 was actually based on an actual event that happened. So to explain that, I was in a room with some boys, you know, friends I'm not friends with no more, but. We were in this room, right? Empty ass house. Like the house is actually up for sale, but it was like, fuck it. Okay, the house is available. Let's go there. So we had this room that we were chilling in. Was like the back room, like the main bedroom, right? They had an ensuite and shit. So we were in this room, and it was me, 3 other dudes. So we were 4 guys in total. And my car was full of girls, and everyone else's car was full of girls. So by the time we actually got to this house, like, I mean, you sitting with about what? 16 girls almost, like 16 girls, then friends of theirs also came. So it was about 20 girls in this room, 21 girls in this room with 4 dudes. No place to sit, nothing, people sitting on the floor and shit. And then I ended up getting a call from my ex at the time. And there was this other chick that was calling me baby the whole time and shit. And it was like, what are you doing? So I was like, hey, I'm in a room full of bitches, I'll call you back. And that's kind of like, you know, what sparked that whole thing for me. Obviously, when you played the beat, I was like, I got something for this, you know. And then obviously that's where that hook came from. I'm in a room full of bitches, and it's just me and my niggas. But for you, like, what was yours though? Like,
you know, that time I was still in high school, I think.
I got 8 years ago. What did we do 8 years ago?
Yeah,
Shit.
you know, so I was. It was the peak of my emotional state, you know. A lot of shit happens at that time in your life when you're in school.
Okay, yeah.
And I might not have been in a room full of bitches, however, I would have loved to. Got my heart broken around that time. You know?
Bruh, like, oh yeah. So then that brings us to part 2, you know what I mean? So part 1 was actually based on that, you know?
Yeah.
And then part 2, I was like, yo, Snow, let's do a second part of this thing, because I was in a relationship at that time. I think part 2 came out in like 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like 2013. I think it was 2013, yeah. And then what happened was, I was like, hey man, let's do a part 2, you know, but this time, like, let's switch it. Let's say fuck the room, you know what I mean? And you were like on board with the idea, and then obviously, you know, you jumped behind the computer, you started making a beat and shit. And then I think we worked on that song same time together in the studio. I can't remember exactly how we ended up around that one. But yeah, so that was the premise with that one, you know, to like switch it over and like fuck the room. And what happened was, I think at that point is where we kind of embedded Room, whether we in or we out of this room, as a place in time, just emotionally.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you know, we built up onto like, okay, part 3 came. We both in the room in part 3 again. So I went through a breakup, you went through a breakup, there was heartbreak, there was just, that's what Room's actually about. It's more about your mentality or your mental state regarding relationships and shit like that.
Actually,
so
I remember something about Room now that you mention it. We weren't going to do Room part 3 together. We were going to give it to Young G to remix.
Oh yeah. That actually, young G Simmons, shout out.
And fortunately, he didn't do it.
Fortunately, he didn't. He actually, I have the file still on my computer of his version of it. And I
Oh
was
shit!
like,
Oh, so we did record one. 'Cause
he
I
recorded. He got
I
somewhere
never
with
heard
it, but then I was also like, nah, dog, that shit is like,
Yeah, I never.
that's
heard
personal for me and Snow. Like, fuck your shit. If you're gonna do room, it's all good, but like, don't reference that to our room. That has
Yeah.
nothing to do with us. You know what I mean?
Get a different room. Get
Get a different room. You know what I mean?
Get a room.
But yeah, so like, you know, then we had part 2 come in. Part 2 was fuck the room full of bitches. Can we blame it on the liquor? And you know, obviously, so the story flipped now. It's like you want to get out the room. You don't want to be here.
We had some regrets.
Yeah, regrets
Like-
and shit. You know.
Like the mastering on room 1 and how amateur we sound. I think.
Yeah, nah, but you know what? What I'm gonna do is, right, I'm actually gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep those files. I'm gonna actually put them out there, bro, just so that people can also hear the growth. You know, like as in the quality changes, the you know the content that we wrote about and shit. So
Yo,
people can.
what a way to embarrass a guy, but okay.
It's not embarrassing. Like I feel
It's
like, you know,
embarrassing.
if anyone gets like the whole room series, because like I mean, a lot of people only jumped on the bandwagon at part 4.
Yeah.
I rate, you know.
Yeah.
Because part 4, like, oh shit, that was like I don't know, because that was kind of a slap in your face towards a certain person. You know what I mean? That's why I did it. I was like, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Where was I in part 4?
You were out. You wanted to get out.
I was out the room.
Yeah, you were like. Chizzy's in the room full of bitches getting laid.
Oh,
Now I think I got to my head the other way.
That one. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
What was I thinking?
what do you mean? What were you thinking? You were happy in a relationship, bro. I remember always posting and shit. I was like, this nigga, just rubbing in my face that I'm single. But yeah. So then, obviously, I feel room part 5. We kind of took quite a while to get to it. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that was the longest gap. Was it like a 4-year gap?
that was a 4-year gap. Yeah, it was. We
4.
released room 4 in, I think it was like November 2016, if I'm not mistaken. It was like
Yeah.
November side, or like what's the month before November? October, right?
I don't know. I have to start from the
October,
beginning
November.
again.
Yeah, it's October. It was either in October or it was in oh shit, it could have been August actually. I can't remember, but fuck it. Either way, it was in 2016. I know it was in 2016. And then after that, I also had like, you know, is Snow coming back? What's gonna happen now? Do we do part 5? Because when we spoke about it, we were like, oh, let's do part 5 at some point, you know. And I think 2018 was when we initially spoke of part 5. But I guess at that point our wavelengths were off.
Yeah.
You know, you
You
were also like busy with your own shit. I was
You
busy
left
with
the
different
country.
shit. No, I left the country last year, dog.
Oh fuck, was that last year?
Yeah, I left the country last year. But I think 2018 was the year that
My
we
memory's
wanted to
fucked.
do part 5. But I guess, you know, you had to go through some more shit. You know, in
yeah.
order to just...
We had a breakup.
you had to, yeah, we had to
Like
break
little
up
breakup.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And then obviously came back into it. And I feel like, you know, the way we approached this room was... It was more with the times, you know, the switch up and all that shit that we had in
Yeah.
it. And obviously what we're speaking on is just, like I said, you know, I have references to, you know, the priors, like the other ones, we're talking part 4, part 3. I didn't make any reference to part 2 because I was not trying to get out of this room. Fuck that, I'm in this room, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
If I had to say anything, I probably would have been like, I said, can we blame it on the liquor? I was lying, you know what I mean? I
course
said
you
some
were.
shit because I ain't sober, like I said in part 3.
That's the one thing that I did not do in part 5 was, you know, the whole sleep deprivation thing.
Yeah, I was trying to I was looking forward to that in your verse, but it didn't come. Because I was like thinking, are you going to run 72 hours now? Like, is it
Yeah.
72 hours or is it
72 hours was in part 4.
72 hours is 3 days, bro?
Oh fuck. Then it might not.
Then
have been.
part 4 is 4 days. I'm saying 4 days.
Oh yeah, I just said 4 days because I couldn't
Yeah,
actually
like,
calculate. I didn't want to add another
I
number.
can't-
so
I can't
was
do the
like,
calculation
you know
now,
what,
I'm
fuck
just
this
not-
math,
I'm not
just
there,
gonna
I'm not
say
there right
4
now.
days.
But yeah, so anyways, I was looking forward to it, but it wasn't there. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, well,
cool,
of
cool,
course,
cool.
that's impossible.
But then you did say there's about 30 girls willing to ride. I was like, okay, that must be like a reference to something.
Yeah.
You know, there are 30 girls willing to ride. I mean, you can't fit 30 people in the car. There's ain't no clown car. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I mean, that's basically the journey that we've had. You know what I mean? And for me, I feel it was a good series. You know what I mean?
It was, yeah.
And I swear that's the last one. I don't want to do another room. But you know, something might just happen, and it might be like.
This normally starts off as a drunk conversation. And
Yeah,
we just
then we
plan
just
some
like fuck
bullshit.
it. Yeah, then we just get onto it. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. But I think we can put room to rest now, and obviously
time.
there's a video in the mix for this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I was actually gonna, you know what I mean? Off camera, I was gonna ask you, but I'll fucking ask you. What do you think about a short story though, like relating to room?
A short story. Okay. I'm not much of an actor. Let's start there. I'm not even much of a person, you know.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well, I'll say let's do the music video. Like, I think that would be.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, you know, then you don't have to act at least. You just have
always-
to kind of like recite words and do shit. You know?
Bruh, you know, when you drink, you become a different person.
Oh, yeah, and obviously there's
I
going to
might
be a lot
become
of
an
liquor
actor.
involved. There has to be a lot of liquor involved with the room. You know what I mean?
Weed.
Okay, well, you smoke, I don't smoke. You know, one of those things.
Let's just hope my mother doesn't see. I'm lying.
Okay, but so let's wrap this up one last time.
Yeah.
So, room, as it is, I feel it was a masterpiece, man. Like we actually created something and we built with that thing, and we actually we evolved with it the same way that was evolving, we were evolving. You know, dealing with things better, handling things better. You know what I mean? Obviously, we talk about like, you know, the way that I'm drinking is a little destructive and shit. But okay, that is destructive to my own liquor, but to my own liver. But that's because of the fact that I just fucking choose to drink the way I drink. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a choice I made. It's not because I'm going through some things. I just enjoy the taste
a
of liquor.
lifestyle, man.
You know what I mean? It's no longer vodka, guys. I'm on gin these days. Gin is amazing. I like the taste. It's better and shit.
Yeah.
But,
so I'm Black Label, not whiskey. Black Label beer.
This is good. What do you call it again? Betty, what's her name?
Belinda Lowe. Oh, you just.
But okay, yeah, so I guess that wraps up, you know, the talk on room.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that, you know, we managed to see it through for the fifth one, because I was not sure if it was going to come. And I'm glad that we saw it through again, you know what I mean? Also gave people that thing of like, Chizzy and Snow is back, you know,
Yeah.
back on some shit, you know? Yeah, so that's about it. I just wanted to say, like, to you, like, thanks. That was
Yeah.
a journey, and I enjoyed that shit.
And thanks to you for taking me along on that.
Nah,
weird,
it was an amazing
weird
journey, bro.
fucking journey.
Nah, I'm glad.
A lot of shit happened.
A lot of shit has happened, eh? It's
Yeah.
been a long time coming. But again, man, I want to say thank you, and obviously to all the fans, anyone that's been paying attention. I'll put it up for everyone, you know, to see it. But don't judge the quality from back in the day. 2012 is a long time ago.
Please don't.
You know,
Jesus.
so
It was so bad.
yeah, look, the quality was different, but at the same time, you know, we did what we needed to do. We managed with what we had at the time, you know.
Yeah.
And we made it happen. But I guess for anyone who wants to actually follow the journey, just to have it out there, you know what I mean? Ironically, I found the files. Like, that was the thing, because I thought room 1 was gone, like, with the wind. And room part 2, I just found randomly on my laptop one day. And then obviously part 3, I still had those files. Like, from 3 onwards, I had those files. But, yeah, man, so that's room. That's to explain room to anyone who has those questions, like, what is room? Room is just a place in time, emotionally, that we decided to, you know, immortalize, actually. You know what I mean? We decided to immortalize it in a song, and that's what happened. So,
Yep.
yeah. And to everyone that's watching, thank you for watching. That's room.
I'm in this room. I'm in this room. I'm in this room. I'm in this. Yeah. I'm in this room. I'm in this room.